Project Hail Mary is a fun science fiction space movie which is meant to be accessible for everyone. And even though I do have some issues with this movie, I think it nails it where it matters the most. Having a heart and making you care about its very, very charming and adorable characters. So this movie is based on a book with the same name of Hail Mary, which is written by the same guy who also wrote The Martian. Also, I brought this up because I wanted to say that I really, really despise this book cover. I mean, I love the book. I read the whole thing in a single sitting. Also, I wanted to brag about that. But my point is that I really hate this book cover. Like, they took this and replaced it with the stupid close-up of Matt Damon's face. Why? Just screw you. And now it does make sense, right? Like The Martian and Hail Mary do have similar starting points. Like you have this really intelligent guy stuck in space and now he has to figure out solution to a problem using his intelligence. Also, he keeps using humor as coping mechanism. But the good thing is that that's where the similarities end, and overall I think these two are very different stories. So this is very rare thing to happen, especially in nowadays, but I went into this movie completely blind. Like I somehow managed to avoid trailers, footage, everything. I genuinely thought that it will be similar story like Martian, where like Ryan Gosling is stuck in the space the entire time and he's doing his like da 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 to solve a problem and then Earth will be okay. It wasn't that at all. I was genuinely so surprised when Rocky showed up. Not just that, but I didn't know about the basic plot either. So basically in this movie, there is this line called Petrova line. It is a visible line that goes from Venus all the way to the sun. And turns out this line is made up of some weird bacteria, and that bacteria is eating up the sun. Like it is straight up destroying sun, and not just sun, but like every sun in the universe. So now humanity has to come together, and figure out a solution. Like what the hell to do with this? So turns out all the sun in the planet, like all the stars are dying except one. For some reason, this bacteria are unable to kill that star in particular. So people on Earth realize, you know what? We gotta go there, like all the way to that star and do some analysis and figure out like what's the reason, like why this weird virus is not able to hurt this star. Now Ryan Gosling in this movie is somebody who knows a lot about this bacteria. Like they hire him and they make him study all of this bacteria to figure out like what's the solution and what can be done. Then something happens and they decide to send Ryan Gosling into the space. Like, hey, go out there, figure out a solution, save everybody or we're gonna die. The sad part about this whole situation is that the trip is one way. So they only have enough fuel to send them to that star, which is like somehow immune to this virus, but they cannot bring them back. So this is essentially a suicide mission. However, with Ryan Gosling, when he reaches that star, turns out there is somebody else there. There's this weird, cute little alien called Rocky, like he names him Rocky, but Rocky has the same problem. His planet is also dying, just like ours, so him and Ryan Gosling, they team up and they figure out a solution to save the universe. I found this really good solution on Reddit. You can pause and read it. But basically, yeah, it means that taking a shot where you know that you don't have a high chance of winning, but you do it anyway because you're desperate. Which makes a lot of sense for this movie. Because in movie, times are bad. Like, it's really bad. They have only like 30-40 years to save the Earth. And turns out that this one-way trip itself is like 11 years of time. And they have no idea that after this scientists like go to this star, will they find solution? Is it possible? Who the hell knows, man? Another funny thing, so Ryan Gosling's name is Grace. And the ship that he travels in is called Hail Mary. Now, when you read the first line of the prayer, it says, Hail Mary, full of grace. It's just, I really love when writers do like nice little Easter eggs like this. So for Gosling, I think they went on Pinterest and they searched like sexy space nerd, and this is the look that came up. I'm not criticizing it. I think it looks very good, but he has that, way like messy hair and this glasses and the way he talks in this nerdy way, but also has this somewhat of a sexy appeal to it. I really like it. It's really good. And I really appreciate how his humor is handled. You can clearly see that he is using this humor to cope with the nihilism, the negativity, right? because he is struggling with some personal shit, and at the same time the world he lives in is literally dying. So the way his humor is incorporated is very smart and never feels annoying. And that's why I also love how they handled Sandra Hüller's character. Also, this was my first experience. I was like, oh, I have seen this person somewhere. And suddenly I reminded, it's from that clip of Anatomy of the Fall. Still haven't seen that movie. I have to watch it. Oh my god. Basically, Sandra Hüller's character is very serious. The same way Ryan Gosling is funny, and he's kind of a scaredy cat. Sandra Hüller is confident. She is blunt. She knows exactly what she wants and she makes the difficult decisions. Like, she is a person who is in a big position of power. She is kind of a leader and she is the one who recruits Ryan Gosling. And because these characters are so opposite of each other in personality wise, every time they interact, it's very entertaining. And I don't mean that they just keep arguing. They understand each other. They have this a form of mutual respect for the work they're trying to do. And also that singing scene, oh my god. So as I said, I did not watch the trailer, so I had no idea that Sandra Hüller was gonna sing Signs of Times by Harry Styles. Oh my god, like it is one of my favorite songs. Like I really love that song. So to see that song sung by such a beautiful way by her, and it is so appropriate, like the way that song is placed in this movie, just mwah. Like, so as I said, the scientists who are going, they're going on a one-way trip, and until this point in the movie it is not that serious. Like, it doesn't hit you that, oh my god, these people are literally committing a suicide in a weird way, right? So when Sandra Hüller, like, who is in charge of this operation, and she is responsible for sending these people, so when she starts singing this song, you can see the pain she carries in her. You know that, oh my god, like what I'm doing is a very terrible thing. Like, it is not good for humanity and it is a necessity, but it is still, I'm asking these people to sacrifice themselves. And for me, the strongest aspect of this movie is the chemistry between characters, whether it's Ryan Gosling and Rocky or it is Gosling and Hüller. I think Gosling is very well cast, and once you are done watching this movie, you realize that it's not actually easy to imagine anybody else in this role. Like, you need that charming personality to carry this over. It depends on that a lot. Not just that, but I love how this movie handles the alien life aspect. Because usually when aliens show up, they're very terrifying, they want to kill you, or otherwise, they are so smart that you feel really stupid. But it doesn't work that way. In this movie, Rocky is very humanized. Like, he looks very weird. He is like this spider made of rocks. However, he is an engineer. He has a life of his own. The way he designs these props, the way he makes that tunnel, like, his skill of being an engineer is very well utilized. And even though he is very adorable, he never feels like a pet. Because in some movies, when you have the alien character, especially something cute, it has risk of turning into, somewhat of a pet or like a replacement for a dog or a cat. Never happens here. Rocky is a very smart individual and you never not take him seriously. And I love how the plot progression is dependent on problem solving. So anytime something new has to happen, it is dependent on how intelligent Rocky and Gosling are, and especially together. I also love the production. I like how weird Rocky's design is, how weird his spaceship is, and I love how that him being an engineer really complements like every visual aspect of him. And I really like how the problems in this movie, they can keep escalating in a sense that you think that the scene is over, but it's not. It's still going. Then you think, oh, maybe now it is over, and that is still going. I think the movie puts in a lot of effort to keep you guessing, to keep you hooked. However, I think because of that, the movie also ends up paying a price for it. In a way, like, this movie wants to do cliches, but in somewhat more creative way. And I think because of that, the pacing can feel very awkward at times. Like, it is never boring, like, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's like, oh, is this scene supposed to be this slow? Or is it supposed to be this fast? And even though we do get a lot of flashbacks, like, after a while, we kind of forget, like, what is going on in Earth. The duration after, Ryan Gosling leaves to go for the stars. Like, what happens behind him on the Earth is kind of like not explored a lot, despite the movie having 2.5 hours of runtime. And as I said, because this movie wants to be accessible, there are some problems. So in a sense, there is this really emotional moment that happens, and you're like, oh my god, that was very emotional. But then the movie does typical, you know what, psych, now we're so back. And I don't like it, and not in just this movie, but like in general, I don't like emotional fake outs, which this movie has. And I also did not like the ending of this movie. So initially, I was confused, like, what's the problem with it? But I was discussing the movie with my friend, and he made me realize that the ending is good on paper. The movie does its best to make sure, you get something that is not cliche. However, the execution of it, not it. Like, it feels very unsatisfying and somewhat rushed at the end. And the final one is okay, this complaint comes with a massive asterisk because it can literally be only me. But here's the thing, I didn't think that the space scenes were that amazing. Like, sure, they looked good, but in comparison to something like Interstellar or Gravity, I think this was lacking. I mean, it was colorful, it was pretty, but I never felt that, the vastness of space, like this dread or fear that you always feel, like being in this massive empty area. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does look good, and that fishing scene was spectacular, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, I just never felt, that I always feel something here whenever I see a movie in space. Even 2001, like, I don't like that movie very much, but the space scenes and that movie, oh my god. I never felt that here, and maybe there's a reason for that, let me explain. So I'm gonna explain my experience watching this movie in cinema. And I'm gonna give it benefit of the doubt because maybe it's just me or a few other people. So this movie is shot for IMAX. Regular cinema screens are kinda thinner, but IMAX screens, they are taller, right? Now here's the problem. You cannot just take IMAX video and play it on a regular cinema screen. Because if you do that, you have empty spaces on both sides, right? It's called pillar boxing. So when this movie started and I had this pillar boxing, I was like, oh, okay, it's another one of those situations like Superman. So I was not very happy, but I was like, okay. But this has like a even weirder IMAX ratio in a sense that even though you have empty spaces on both sides, there's also a little bit of empty space on top and bottom. I have no idea why, but I had it in my cinema. But I was like, you know what, screw it, let's just do it. So then I was watching the movie, and then the memory sequence started. And this is what grinded my gear a lot. Because memory sequences, like whatever happens on Earth, now that is shot differently. Like, it is not IMAX. Meaning, I already had pillar boxing, so like left and right side of my screen was empty, but now the top and bottom as well. So it was like watching a really tiny picture on a really big screen. It's just such a horrible experience. It is a movie set in space with really large scale visuals like spaceships flying around and colors and whatnot. So here I cannot just go and ignore that, oh, half of my screen is empty right now. Like, it genuinely made this movie less special. Now here's the kicker. So initially when this happened and I was watching the movie, I was cursing my cinema, like the place where I went to watch the movie. I was like, you know what, maybe the projectionist did some mistake. The cinema chain kind of sucks anyway, like they have a monopoly on the market and they don't provide good service. So I was like blaming on them, they didn't do a good job. But then I went on Reddit and found this thread, meaning a lot of people saw this movie like this. Are you kidding me? Why would you release an IMAX version of this movie on a regular screen, making it look like 10 times worse? Like, look at what someone like Nolan or Denis Villeneuve does. Like, they also love IMAX, but they always make two versions of their movie. Like, one for IMAX and one for regular CinemaScope screens. So it is always filled out to the max and you get a good experience. And what blows my mind is that they put in so much effort. Like, there is an entire video by like both of the directors. They go to different cinema chains and they talk about, like how much they love and how much effort they have put into presentation of it. Where? Like, even in the video, when they, go to different cinemas to show like, oh, how amazing Hail Mary looks on screen, all of them are tall screens. Like, none of them are regular CinemaScope. It's just like all tall IMAX screens and they're just bragging about like how amazing our movie looks on IMAX. Sure, it does. It would look amazing, I can imagine. But why would you not make a normal version? Like, I kid you not, these people literally released this movie in space. I'm not kidding. Like, there's a video out there. They put a screen in outer space and then they ran Hail Mary on it, like releasing this movie in literal space. Yet I cannot watch it properly at my local cinema. What the fuck? Now, despite being this upset, I still want to give this situation benefit of the doubt. Meaning, that maybe some of the theaters didn't show it properly, but other people could see it. So I want to ask you guys, like all the people who watched it on like wide CinemaScope screen, how was your experience? Like, was your screen properly filled from edge to edge and like you had a good experience? Or you also had this like stupid window box situation where like more than half of your screen was empty? So overall, I had a really good time with Project Hail Mary. I mean, I'm not blown away like the other people. Like, I'm not that excited to watch this movie as soon as possible or anything like that. But I totally get it. Like, why people enjoy it so much. Like, for me personally, when I came home and saw the ratings, I was a bit surprised. Like, wow, that's like really big numbers. And people are just downright in love with this movie. I'm not that much into this movie, but I also had a really good time. So, I still have more complaining to do about my cinema experience, but this has nothing to do with the movie anymore. Like, nothing. Like, you guys go. It is more about, the people in my cinema. I think it should be perfectly legal to kick people in the face while wearing heavy boots if they keep talking during a movie. And I think they should receive bonus kicks if they're also using their phone at the same time. Why would you buy such an expensive movie ticket, right? Like the movie prices are absurd nowadays. But why would you buy an expensive movie ticket, come all the way to cinema from your house, right? Like you got out, you got ready, you drove your little vehicle, you came all the way to the cinema just to scroll reels? What is wrong with you? I kid you not, guys. I first sat on my seat, right? Like, and then some dude came in front of me, like with his girlfriend, and it was literally like this meme. Like, put the photo here. So this is the meme. This guy was non-stop explaining everything to his girlfriend, like throughout the movie. Like every time something little thing, this guy was like, "So babe, like bullshit, 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 bullshit." I got tired, so after like halfway into the movie, like I was, you know what, I need to change the seats. So I go and change and go like way further back somewhere, like more like 80% of the cinema was empty, so I could do it. So I went all the way to the back, and now you have still two more jerks, and they just keep, behaving like as if they're doing like a gaming commentary. Literally, they would go like, "No way, bro, that alien really got burnt up, hey." Like, who does this? Why would you keep talking non-stop? And because of this, I changed my seats for the second time. I was like, you know what? I can't do it. I have to get up and leave. And I go all the way into the cornerest of the corner possible. I watched the movie and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is okay. But now, I have a lot of glare in my eye. So for some reason, this dumb fucking theater has really bright LEDs on every stair. So now when I'm looking at the screen, at the same time, there are like 10 bright LEDs hitting in my eye. And this was the point where I just gave up. I just literally gave up. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to take it and just focus on the movie, however it looks. Because it was a really good movie and I wanted to enjoy it, so I did. And that's why I'm saying that whatever complaints I have about the visual of this movies, or like take it with a grain of salt, or maybe more like a tub of salt, because I got screwed in every possible way, like shitty projection, random LEDs on the floor, and like people consistently talking and whatnot. So yeah, literally, like this now has nothing to do with the movie. So if you remember in last video, I said that, I started cooking again regularly because it really helps with my mental health and I enjoy it. And because of that, I made a pizza. And I'm mentioning it just because I want to show you, that I'm proud of this pizza. It looks so good. I also put this like spicy jalapeno pepper on it. Amazing. I kid you not, I sat down, ate an entire pizza by myself. Then I ate another half pizza on top of it. It was delicious and I loved it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with fiction.